Recovering Queen. The Queen fan podcast where we talk about and play the songs we love. With Jay, Matt, and Ian.
Welcome to Recovering Queen, the Queen podcast where we dip our hands into the bag of Queen songs, take that Queen song, cover the Queen song, chat about that Queen song, and try and uncover the methods and the madness of the greatest band the world has ever seen, Queen. And I'm Matt, and with me, as ever, are Jay and Ian. Good evening, gents.
That was excellent.
Good evening. I can only imagine the comments we're going to get from Richard when this one goes out, Matt. I just don't know.
We're not even going to be dipping our hand into the Queen bag. We're going to be dipping them into the Brian May bag.
Yeah. Do you want to redo the whole intro again then?
Well, let's hope there's no soup in the Brian May bag. But I kind of feel as though there is.
Yeah,
it's his laundry bag for sure.
So which track? Which collection of tracks?
Which album, perhaps?
Yeah. Which recently released debut solo, recently re-released debut solo album by Brian May are we talking about briefly this evening?
We're going to be talking about Back to the Light. Is that what it's called?
The recent released Brian May in his top solo albums, that's for sure, that he's ever released.
Top three, I'd say.
Top three, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely amongst his top three best solo albums.
Yeah, amongst his best solo work that he's ever done.
Before we dip into each track, can I just say, before we start this, that Brian May is my favourite guitar player. I love Brian May. He's written some of my favourite songs. And I want to say that before we start.
Why?
because I feel as though this is going to be absolutely horrible.
Well, hang on, mate. I love the start. So we're, the dark.
Okay.
So,
okay.
You just
okay.
don't. You don't.
Oh, right, well,
you
Jay,
don't know what's coming.
Jay, Okay. Well, Jay, kick us off then. Let's talk about the dark.
Well,
Give us a rundown of what you think of the dark. Jay.
The dark is an all right track, and I've given it a 6.
You can't have done. Ian,
right,
what did you think?
Hang on a minute. The scoring, Jay, it's within the context of Queen. It's not the context of this album. So you've got to compare these tracks with
So you
Queen
think
tracks.
the dark would have been sort of made it onto Night at the Opera as a sort of semi-decent
clearly
track?
not.
Well, why have you given it a 6?
Okay, I'm gonna. You carry on talking, and I'm gonna just change all my marks.
Okay, Ian.
Right.
Can we have something more eloquent for how you feel about the dark, rather than it's an okay track?
What annoys me about a lot of music is that they're really generous with my time, a lot of bands. I listen to a lot of progressive rock, and nothing annoys me more than where people meander at the start of things. It's like, come on, once you've earned my respect, then you can take your time on things, but hit me with the good stuff first. Don't have a massive long introduction. And Brian immediately falls into the trap of really taking his time. And to me, the dark, it's just a bit pointless and a bit of, I was annoyed by listening to it, thinking, well, this isn't, it's not a track, it's not anything. No. It hasn't hit me between the eyes with a load of Brian stuff. It's not a song. I just it really frustrated me. So it's not a track. 1.
It's a terrible lyrical joke. It's like an in-joke, isn't it? A self-aggrandizing in-joke right at the beginning about "we will rock you," and it's auto-harmonized, so he hasn't even bothered layering the parts himself, and it's basically just a sort of weird tone poem that just wouldn't make it anywhere. It's a 1 from me.
Hang on, is it not an instrumental track?
Well, it starts with him sort of doing some kind of weird in-joke about "we will rock you."
Okay, well, I'm
singing the lullaby, isn't he?
Okay, well, I don't know what track I was listening to, but it was an instrumental.
Well, it is instrumental.
It is mainly instrumental, so it is definitely that one.
You just didn't listen to the start, maybe.
But is this the track that was originally for Flash Gordon?
Any of them could be, couldn't they, really? They're like little, because Flash Gordon is presumably just a sort of collection of riffs and things that make their way onto it.
I've got a feeling it is, and I think this is what this album suffers from, is it's got lots of little middle 8 bits that get bolted in and bolted from other ideas. So I'm going to give it a 4.
And then we move straight on to the title track, Back to the Light by Brian May, off of Back to the Light. Matt, what do you reckon?
this song sounds like it was written for Anita Dobson. It sounds like a bad Magnum track off a bad Magnum album.
Ouch.
Yeah, and what's even more ridiculous is that it's not even great guitar playing on it either. It's like really average guitar playing. That's the bit I don't understand. It's like it's okay, but it's not. It's certainly not. Oh my God, Brian May.
It's okay, but it's not May.
It's 3 from me. Back to the line.
It's a 3. Yeah, I kind of agree with your scoring there totally. I'm giving this a 3. What annoys me about it's his vocals, and it's going to come up a lot with this for me, that I just don't believe Brian when he's trying to rock out. And there's one lyric thing where he says holding on, but he doesn't say holding on, he goes holding on, and he puts this very strange kind of Americana accent on there because he's trying to sound like he's rocking. And it's not convincing. I don't think it's great songwriting either. 3.
I thought this track was a kind of Christian rock type track. I mean, and not just for the title, which would be obvious, but just even the construction of it. It's really cheesy. It feels to me that it feels like, oh, I used to love it when we were big in America. Can't we get big in America, or can't I get big in America again? And it feels to me like he's trying to, do something that appeals to the US. There's a couple of little Queen style bits in it. It's almost Motley Crue at times. No, not really. I didn't like that. 2.
Crikey. Right. Track 3. Love Token. Embarrassing. 1. I don't want to say anything else about it. I was listening to this. I've listened to the album quite a few times, so just to, not to just have that kind of gut reaction of it, I have listened to it, and this track, I was just embarrassed. If anyone had heard what I was listening to. 1.
My takeaway from this is a classic example about what you were talking about before. Brian trying to be heavy, but not being convincing at all. He didn't grow up in a shithole industrial town like Birmingham. He's just not a metaler. He's just not cut from that cloth.
No.
And it sounds a bit like The Darkness, except at least The Darkness have the decency to let us in on the joke, that they're actually joking. It's not serious. Whereas Brian's being deadly serious. And the middle section is so cringingly bad, it's lucky to get a 1 from me. But I could barely listen to the middle. It was it's so cringingly awful.
Yeah, I've got a very. So, what was your score, Matt? 1.
1.
Yeah, I've got a little note here about a very weird middle 8 that's very bolted on. A few more mommy daddy issues seem to be going on. He likes to bring them out, but he wants to get down and dirty on this track. And I did actually quite like the opening riff for the first 10 seconds. And
yeah, but I love the Darkness riffs. But then it's like because they can't pull it off, it has to then go into parody, doesn't it? It has to go into this is funny.
And I agree with you. What is it? It almost a little bit Robert Palmer with the vocals. I don't know. It's not really Brian's forte, this style. So many bands have done this kind of music, but they have done it a lot better. And again, a little bit American sounding. I think there was this whole thing going on where he's trying to appeal. Love Token gets a 2.
That's very generous.
Moving on to the next track 4, a very high-profile track, Resurrection, with a very impressive, at the time, video. I do remember that coming out at the time and going, wow, these graphics are unbelievable. How on earth can they do that? And now it just looks like, very, very dated. Again, this is Brian trying to do a super heavy song, and it just isn't heavy in the least. It comes across as just being really lame. I mean, the song's nothing either. And that, again, the middle section with all those weird kind of choir things going on. Oh, my God. Reminds me of the band Gregorian Rock. Do not ever look them up. I strongly recommend you do not look up Gregorian Rock. But it's that type of thing. But it's not as bad as Love Token, so it gets a 3 from me.
Particularly the middle section is very Mighty Boosh. And the video makes it even more so. It's just like with the snake, it's like, oh my God. But it's like if the Mighty Boosh did a song about Chaz and Dave going into space to rescue Red Dwarf. It'd be like that, basically, and that's what it would. That's the sound of this song, because it's even got like a kind of weird Chaz and Davey bit in it. But it's the whole production sounds like the bad Black Sabbath albums from that era, like all the ones with Tony Martin, which no one, the Black Sabbath albums that no one likes. That's obviously what Brian was totally into at the time. And it's just, and again, the middle section is so cringe. It's unreal. Yeah. I just couldn't believe it. But the video just makes it. It's just Mighty Boosh doing Chaz and Dave going into space. That's it. It's a 2.
I thought you were going to say 10 with that.
Wow.
Yeah, more Christian rock, Resurrection. It's I'd put Dio down on my notes, Matt. Just a little bit Dio, and is that Cozzy Powell on drums?
Yeah. It's bound to sound a little bit Black Sabbath.
Yeah, and they sound pretty good. Solo a little bit better, reminding me a little bit of the Invisible Man solo. Random middle eight. What is he doing? You can't. That isn't songwriting to just go, and we'll go into this bit now. It has to flow. And
oh God, it's so bad.
And Brian's written so many good songs that surely he must know that. I don't know. I didn't like this.
Yeah, this is the week we have Long Away out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, how can he not do that?
Yeah.
It's astonishing. The two sides of Brian May. And he goes for this.
What score did you give it?
Yeah, another slice of cheese. Was Ingrid Malmsteen in there at some point? It was just like, was the kitchen sink there? I don't know. A 2.
Nice.
2. Right.
What? Now we come to one of the important tracks.
Yeah, this is
Too Much Love Will Kill You.
This track has taken on a life of its own. It's almost been elevated by Brian into being such an important song within the Queen catalogue as a whole. And I don't think it's as good as Brian thinks it is.
No.
I mean, it's all right. It's, I quite like the piano introduction. I think that's nice. But again, he's a bit overwrought in the vocal delivery. I think if he just kept a limiter on it and just sung it as he can sing things, done it in that real kind of, understated,
gentle way.
I think he could have got away with it. But again, you watch the video and he's doing that shaky head thing that he always does when he's at full power.
And the claw.
Yeah, and to me, it's all right. I mean, it's fine. It's an okay ballad song. 4 out of 10.
Jay?
Well, do you know, who was it that said, "I think, therefore I am"?
Sartre?
Is it Descartes, isn't it?
I think it's Descartes. I think this is Brian. I think Brian's peddling this as his Descartes moment. And it's like, too much love will kill you. You're not listening. Look, I've said something really profound here. Usually people think it's not enough, but I'm telling you from experience, too much love will kill you.
Just as much as none at all.
Well, yeah, to be fair, he has put a caveat in there. That's why he's not Descartes. It's a bit
That's
cheesy.
the only reason.
Yeah, it's a bit cheesy, isn't it? The thing is, this does feel very real and very, I can feel Brian being direct and honest. And so I don't want to be too scathing on this one because I do really respect that. And I think there is a good song in there. Yeah, I don't mind it, actually. Originally for The Miracle, this track, apparently. 4.
4. The problem I have with it, and I've always had this problem with it, when it was debuted at the Freddie tribute gig, we were there, hearing it debuted for the first time, and thinking, this lyric is actually really slightly distasteful in the AIDS pandemic. Because if it's taken on that level, which I'm sure it's not, I'm sure that's not the intention.
No.
But there's just the framing of it at the time is like, what you're actually blaming, it's almost blaming gay people for having sex, and it will kill you, it will kill you. It's like, that's a terrible connotation.
It is, yeah.
But it's like, so I've always had that problem with it, and I'm sure it's not intentional, so I'm not going to blame Brian for that, that's what he meant.
No.
But like, ultimately, it's like Phil Collins Against All Odds, but really shit. it's a shit version of Against All Odds. If you have like Phil Collins doing Against All Odds, how much better that is than Too Much Love Will Kill You.
Literally no comparison.
There's no comparison. Put those two songs side by side and you go, that's how to do that style properly and well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a 3 because
a 3.
it seems so important in the canon.
Right.
Incidentally, if it was the Queen version, would you have upped those scores?
I think Freddie makes it slightly more bearable, doesn't he? But not much.
Not much, yeah. Right, and then the track that kind of started it all, Driven by You. How do we feel about Driven by You?
Angry?
Well, I do actually feel
Betrayed.
a little bit angry about this. It starts off with a lazy auto harmony vocal instead of an auto harmony guitar like The Dark did. So it's like this. It's just really lazy. It's a reworking of a car advert, and you can still hear the car advert in your head as it's going round.
As the wheels are going round.
But then, as the wheels on the bus go round and round. But then the most annoying thing is it's released as a single in the week of Freddie's death, right? And Brian's excuse is that Freddie gave him his blessing. But if either of you two asked me for your blessing on my deathbed, I'd obviously be kind of forced to say yes, but I'd be pretty disappointed with the pair of you.
Yeah, but absolutely. But there's a little bit more to this. I don't think I think Freddie was still doing a bit of singing, and he said to Freddie, this is a track. How do you feel about me singing it for maybe a solo thing? And Freddie said, I think you should. I think you should. Yeah, it would be really good coming from you. And I think that is Freddie's just being genius yet again.
Yeah. It's like, I don't think I really like this track.
In Brian's defence, I suspect that if you are dealing with Ford and you've committed to do a track for Ford and they've got a whole massive campaign about, what is it, a new transit van or something coming out? I don't know. The wheels are probably very much in motion. So for him to call time on it, so no, can we delay this by a year? He'd probably have to pay like however many millions of quid back or be in breach of contract or something.
I don't think Ford had anything to do with the single release. Because that song had been out as a advert, and then he's reworked the lyrics. It doesn't contain anything about Ford transit vans anymore. He's changed the lyrics, and it's like it is Brian sticking that out, and it's just. I just don't know. I cannot believe that anyone could think that was the right thing to do. Particularly when you're a multi.
I never understood it. Even at the time,
wasn't it the day after?
It was the day after, and there may have been some unfortunate timing around the specific day, I guess. But I don't get why you would do that. I really don't. And as you say, Ian, maybe it's in motion. It becomes difficult, and maybe he had blessing. But I wonder, looking back, whether he thinks that was the right thing to do. I don't know. Because sounds a little bit like the Red Dwarf, the movie, to me.
Exactly. It's exactly what I've put in my notes as well. It's got a Red Dwarf guitar solo. It's like, it's amazing how similar it is.
Yeah,
it's like
or Starfleet Project or something like that. It's which I didn't mind a bit of Starfleet.
I mean, it's an all right song in itself. I mean, it would be very much an also ran track on a Queen album. Certainly wouldn't be the worst they've done, but anywhere near the heights that Brian has gone to.
No.
It's just an all right rock song. I gave it 4 out of 10 from me.
I gave it 5. I think there is a good song in there. I've got to be honest. I do think there's a good song in there. It just not quite got out yet. 5.
I give it a 1.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, I literally can't stand it.
Right, fair enough.
It's absolutely
Matt scores for the
track
Annie.
Track 7 on the album.
Come back to that then.
Track 7 on the album, Nothing But Blue, co-written with the late great Cozy Powell. Nothing But Blue. I've written down Pointless Blues.
Yeah, it's like I'm listening to Jeff Beck at the moment, and I'm going to pretend to be him for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except when Brian May does Jeff Beck, he kind of gives the game away. It's like, Brian, just be Brian May. Don't be like another guitar player, because you're actually nowhere near as good as Jeff Beck at doing Jeff Beck, surprisingly.
But you're rather very good at doing Brian, though. That's the thing. That's the annoying thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, 2 out of 10 for me. Utterly pointless.
2 out of 10 for me. Pointless. Yeah, it's a pointless track.
1. Yeah, I didn't like that. Didn't like listening to that. Felt a bit sub Bijou.
Yeah, it's sub Gary Moore. It's sub anything, isn't it?
Track 8. Now I'm a little bit worried about this one. I'm scared. And I am scared about talking about this track. I mean, what on earth is anyone thinking? How did this ever see the light of day?
It's Brian May's worst track. I'm gonna put it out
I think
there.
I've gone one further on my notes. I've said it's the worst output by anything to do with or associated with Queen.
Yeah, I think you might be right. This is my note was that, you know, when you know somebody who sort of works in a factory or works at B&Q and they're quite rich and they spend a load of money going to the recording studio and they bring out an album. They do an album and it's taken them years to do it, and then they give you a copy of it and say, listen to my CD, and you put it on and it's absolutely terrible. That's what this song is kind of like, off one of those type of albums where it's like, and you feel really sorry for this person because they've really tried, and you can kind of see what they're trying to do, but it's just, they're just not a rock star.
Yeah.
But Brian is a rock star, so what the hell is he doing?
I have no idea. I just can't figure this one out at all.
Yeah, I've got, my patience is starting to wear thin at this point. And it also, it takes me back to, it sounds so mean. I love Brian as well. I know, it's awful, isn't it?
That's what
why did you make us do this, Brian? It really reminds...
It's his fault. It's not our fault.
It really reminds me. Do you remember there was an episode of EastEnders, and it started off with Ethel talking about a little doggy and all that with Doc Cotton, and it started off, and you think, oh, this is a bit boring, but don't worry because it'll switch scenes at some point.
And then it doesn't.
Then it goes on for a little bit longer and you're thinking, this is really feeling uncomfortable now. I feel uncomfortable. And then once it's been going on for 10 minutes, you're starting to have this horrible realization that it's going to go for the whole length. And that was the feeling I got listening to this. And
some really obscure.
This is a feeling I got where you're in too deep. You've watched half of it and you're thinking there has to be a payoff at the end, because why would you have it? And you're thinking maybe it's masterful. There's going to be a payoff at the end, because why would you do something like this? And so you end up watching it right to the bitter end, and then it finishes.
Oh God!
Yeah.
One.
Well, at least it did. It does finish. That's where it gets the 1 point from me.
It won.
There is
one
an
for
end
finishing.
to it. Yeah.
But then we have Last Horizon.
Well, this is another track that's being elevated to being something good within the Queen.
But this might
thing.
also be the worst track he's ever done.
Oh, hang on. My EastEnders analogy was for this one.
Well, it's. I think they're interchangeable.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you'll be safe with that.
Yeah, this is. It's been elevated to saying this. Incredible, atmospheric Last Horizon. They play it on. They currently play it live as well. So it's a section in the live show apparently, and it's just. I mean, it reminds me of one of those rock school exams you can do, kind of maybe grade 2. This one's called Last Horizon, and we're going to use the top 3 notes up to position 3 for this guitar solo.
What a coincidence, because I've put that it wouldn't get a good grade at a failing music tech college in some forgotten new town. That was my assessment. So there we go.
For me, it's but it's not. I'm scared. Thank goodness. In its it's not.
I don't know.
It
might be as bad for me.
It's 2 for me.
Really? I've got it. I gave it a 1.
Well,
Jay?
I mean, this really reminds me actually of like, remember there was like an episode of EastEnders back in. No.
Oh yeah, that sounds familiar actually. Yeah. I remember hearing
Carry
about
on.
that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could tell you about I'm scared. He's very scared, isn't he? And I would say that's not very inspiring for a rock star to keep telling you you're very scared. So it doesn't matter. I've given both of these tracks the same score, 1. So
Let Your Heart Rule Your Head is the next track.
Sub 39 pastiche. It's a real shame. It's so annoying because it's not bad, but it's just too like 39.
Well, it's exactly the same. It's just, except it doesn't predict the film Interstellar. So it's no good.
And the melody's nowhere near as good. The performance isn't as fun, and it hasn't got any interesting bits.
And it doesn't sonically cut it either. No. And the middle, what the hell? It's back to cringing middle section again.
Absolutely. 3 for me.
Yeah, I think that got a 3 from me. Jay?
2.
He's not even going to say anything about it.
No.
I like it.
It was getting hard at this point.
I'm not going to ask what was getting hard. Right, Just One Life.
Just One Life. Well, for me, at last. Oh, wow. This, on this album, this is, for me, by far the standout track. I think this is half decent.
Yeah. Do you know what? Weirdly, I put not a bad song.
Yeah.
Quite sweet, in fact.
Yeah. It's a believable performance by Brian. He's got that kind of... He's not trying to belt it out like Freddie-esque. It's atmospheric lyrics. I think there was a backstory about a friend of a friend that had died in some kind of tragic circumstances or something, or in an untimely fashion. Anyway, it's just believable. It's a decent verse, really nice chorus, and it's well put together as well. So I gave this a 5. This would have been okay on certain Queen albums.
Yeah, I pretty much totally agree with that. Apart from it's got the worst acoustic guitar sound ever. So
yeah, no, that is true.
Gross.
Yeah.
But I actually gave it a 6.
6. Yeah, I think it's deserved it. I put 6, crossed it out when I cross checked against other Queen tracks that I'd also given a 5 and a 6 to. I thought no way, but so I had to take it down to a 5.
I didn't
Jay?
like this. No, a bit dreary for me. Almost sub-ABBA. He's got this sort of. He's got like a cheesy bone. He's like a dog gnawing on it. He won't let go of this bone. Keep on with it. It's very bad and very, very uninspiring construction on this. But I did say that I did think it suited Brian's voice a lot better. It felt a little bit more. I suppose it's where's the point you were making, Brian, but being a little bit more Brian. Because he has got a great voice, as we've discussed many times before, and it felt a little bit more. Yeah, this suits you better, Brian. But
yeah, I mean, this track it just proves that had he gone in a slightly different direction, this album could have been tremendous.
Yeah,
if he just hadn't gone down that rock.
I suppose what it is he's the guitarist in Queen, isn't it? And that's how everybody knows him. And then he's coming out on his own again. He hasn't had anything out for a while, and it's like, well, I've got to do the big guitars because that's what people know me as. But I don't think that he did have to do it, and I wish he hadn't.
No, I wish he hadn't. Yeah,
and he was just into metal, though, wasn't he? He was listening to bands like Black Sabbath and Def Leppard. Like he was obsessed with Def Leppard at the time.
I think didn't he produce Dokken as well? I think around this time earlier on. So he was into the new wave, wasn't he?
Yeah, so he had that new wave of British heavy metal and all that kind of stuff, and a bit of Magnum. Roger was producing Magnum, wasn't he? And it's just like, and Cozy Powell being on there sort of gives it away that that's the drummer of all those bands like Rainbow and stuff. So it's just, I just think he hasn't realised just because he likes the music that he can't really do it. It's like he isn't Def Leppard. He isn't
not as
Judas
a leader
Priest,
anyway.
He isn't. No.
No.
And actually, if you look at all those bands, they have absurdly good singers.
Yeah.
It's just like, of which he is not one. You know, to be a metal singer, you have to be amazing.
Well, that was what I put about this track, actually, was that he's finally given up on trying to be Robert Plant or someone and just be himself.
Yeah.
But I still didn't like it, so I gave it a 3.
Right, I go.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So I do want to go back and talk about Cozy Powell, but should we move on to the final track?
Yeah.
And so Rolling Over, again, he just goes back to form for the rest of the album on this one and does a kind of a pointless, very poor rock track. I gave it a 2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the original song is really good, but this is obviously a total sort of Hendrix meet mock metal kind of reworking of a really cool track by a really cool band, and it's just don't get what he was even trying to do. Right. It's a 2.
It's a 2
at best.
Yes, that's right. Brian meets Jimi Hendrix at times. Oh God. What does rolling over mean? Wasn't sure what it means. Do you know what it means?
No, but go back to because listen to the original Small Faces version of it, and it's actually really good. Yeah, it's a cover.
Okay, cool. Well, in that case, I'll still give it a 1.
A 2 from me.
It hasn't done very well, has it, Brian's?
Yeah, no, it's a real shame. I think it's a missed opportunity because the guy is so talented, done some of the best vocal work ever, some of the best guitar work, written some of the best songs ever. And on this one,
orchestration and piano and the rest of it. You know, he's a musical god.
Yeah. He's a absolute musical god, and it's so disappointing.
I remember sitting in our student flat, Ian, having a chat with you, like in 1990, I think it was, on Camp Street, and we were chatting and going how we couldn't wait for a proper Brian May solo album. That like, because we were listening to things like Prophet Song, It's Late, 39, Long Away, Leaving Home, Sail Away, Sweet Sister, and going, oh my God, they're amazing! Can't wait to hear a Brian May solo album. And we were literally totally gagging for it, weren't we? Actually going, this will be the best thing ever, because it'll get rid of all of the kind of Freddie's whimsy and Roger's kind of plodding stuff, and it's just going to be about Brian. And it's the biggest letdown ever. Yeah. I'm still angry about it now.
Yeah, it is.
I'm actually really, genuinely pissed off.
Really disappointing.
Do you know what I find interesting is that clearly Brian doesn't share the opinions that we hold of it, because why else would you re-release it after 30 years? He's obviously proud of it, and maybe he sees it more relevant.
There's a lot of love for it out there.
Yeah,
you know, there's lots of people really excited about it. The merch has been, all the different editions that people have been buying. You know, there's a lot of excitement about it. I don't know. They're obviously after something different to what I look for in music.
Oh, maybe people are more forgiving. Maybe we're quite mean.
Yeah, I sold all of my Back to the Light stuff at a car boot sale. I think I maybe got about 50p for it all, and I don't regret it.
Yeah. Well, if we may as well, one thing that annoys me on this album is Cozy Powell. I know I shouldn't speak ill of the Dead.
He's a lumpy drummer,
but,
Ian.
He is. He's such a boring player. Sounds like a rubbish drum machine most of the time, and he's doing the same kind of things throughout. And that spoils it for me. That he's hitting them. Sounds like he's hitting them as hard as he possibly can all the time. Sounds quantized. And just really unsuitable, no subtlety, and yet he's lauded, and he's one of the selling points for this album as well. You know, featuring the amazing, and there's nothing about him that I like on this album.
I have Cozy Powell was playing. I was working at the studio, and Cozy Powell was playing drums with Black Sabbath, and being in my little office above their rehearsal going, God, that is so lumpy. It's so like in treacle. And then they came back again a few months later, and I was listening to it going, oh my God, this is really good. and then going downstairs to see that it was no longer Cozy Powell but Bobby Rondinelli, like a different drummer.
Right.
But it was so obvious, like how much better like having a good drummer in the band was. And it was like they're playing the same thing. They're playing like whatever Bill Ward played. But yeah, Cozy Powell lumpy as hell. I just don't get it.
I don't get it. No, and I remember when we saw him at Hammersmith on, I think it was this tour, wasn't it? The Back to the Light tour.
Yeah.
And, obviously Cozy gets his drum solo. And I just remember him like just hitting the drums as hard as he could through the solo. And then there was some kind of fireworks at the end of it or kind of flame stuff coming out of a drum or at the back or something. And it was just like utterly pointless. No finesse, no grace, just absolute stock drummer. I mean, I love some of the stuff he's been on, but he's not great on this album.
Just very quickly, are there any other instrumentalists on this album worthy of a note?
Neil Murray, I believe, plays a bit of it, doesn't he?
Yeah, is it Fred Mundell or Mike Moran's on it as well, isn't he? On piano on a few tracks. Was it Fred Mundell? I forget. Who does that funky Chaz and Dave piano at the end of...
Chaz. Oh, no, Dave.
Yeah, Chaz at the end at the end of Love. Is it the end of Love Token? That it goes into Resurrection? God. I think it's one of them. It's either, I forget.
Cool. Should we round it up then?
Yeah. Please. So in conclusion, bitterly disappointed. I just wish it had been a different album. I love Brian May. He's written possibly my favourite song of all time. Definitely my favourite guitarist of all time, in my favourite band of all time. And this solo album was it's heartbreaking.
Yeah. But it is just personal opinion. But I can't understand how anyone could have a different one.
To yours.
But yeah, to mine. Well, I mean, it just reeks of just not good enough. I'll leave it at that.
Yep.
But like you say, Brian's so proud of it as well. So he does love it. But maybe he wasn't surrounded with people that were willing to tell him it wasn't good enough.
I think that's nail on the head. It's because for me, it's self-indulgent. And that's the thing. He's thought, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to take a few genres and I'm going to master them and I'm going to come out with this bombastic style album that's going to be amazing. And he hasn't got anybody there like a Freddie or a Roger or a John.
Or an A&R, or an A&R guy
saying, well, that's not very good. There's no quality.
We're not going to release this. I'm the label and you're not going to release this.
But yes, remember, listeners, it is just our opinion, so I highly recommend that you go out and give Back to the Light a proper, good listen to several times over. Buy it on all formats to keep Brian in plectrums.
He's got to repair his flooded basement.
He has got to repair his basement, and he did do this album at a very difficult time, slightly self-inflicted difficult time we had, but a very difficult time in his life. So it obviously means a lot to him, but it misses the mark.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we should temper it with that fact that yes, he's losing one of his best friends. That's horrific. His marriage was all breaking up as well at the time, I believe. Yep. And yeah, it can't have been a good time for Brian. And I think he thinks he tried really hard and he went out on tour and did the vocals and didn't have much confidence as being a singer. And that I find extraordinary when you've released songs that are long away.
That's what comes when you're in a band with Freddie, unfortunately. If he was in another band, he may not have suffered a confidence crisis.
Well, and being in a band with Roger. I mean, Roger's got a superb voice. Yeah.
Brian does feel very lost in it. I put lost about 3 times throughout the whole album. He just doesn't seem to... He's trying to cling to sort of driftwood. He doesn't seem to know what he wants or where he's going with it. And yes, it certainly was a difficult time. But the fact that he, like I said, he comes back to it now 30 years later and he's very proud of it.
Well, we should say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Everyone's going to just hate us.